Shabbat Shuva, which some people think is Shabbat Shuva. And there's a small difference between Shuva and Tshuva. And it's not the sneeze, Tshuva, it's not that. Tshuva, with a tav at the beginning, means repentance. And it has to do with turning back again, that we start out good, and then we make bad choices, and then we have to turn back to being good again. Shuva means turn around again and go back. They're related very similarly, but the reason why this is called Shabbat Shuva and not Shabbat Teshuvah is that the Haftarah portion, which we may possibly, I'm going to laugh because anybody who comes on Saturdays know I never get to the Haftarah portion. But we may get to the Haftarah portion tomorrow, and then you'll see that the first few words, maybe I will do that, are Shuva, starts with Shuva. But because of the fact that I was motivated to do things for, Rosh HaShanah. Anybody else get motivated to try to figure out what you have to do differently this year? So I got motivated. I was very inspired by those sermons. Some people thought they were funny. I thought they were inspiring. So I will talk more later about one of the other things that I did. But one of the things that I would like to try to do with you is teach you some Hebrew. And so I want you to do this. I want you to take your fingers and do this, if you can, 3 fingers up. I want you to put them in front of your teeth like this. Shh. And make sound come out like this. Shh. So that's this letter. This letter is the letter Shin, and it sounds like shh. It looks like your front teeth. Shh. Some are more crooked than others, I guess. I don't know. But it looks like your front teeth, and if you were to make sound come out of your shin, which is how you say tooth in Hebrew, it would sound like shh. So this is a shh. If you opened up your prayer book in front of you, on any page, you would find a shin somewhere if there's Hebrew. And I want you to look for the shin wherever you are. I want you to look for that. Wherever you are in the prayer book, I want you to find them. I want you to look for shin. Because as I think that it was Barbara, our new educational director, said, and this Shabbat is brought to you by the letter Shin. And I'm hoping that I can remember enough to bring each Shabbat, I can have each one be sponsored by another letter. And today the letter is Shin for some important reasons. Let's see if the flowers will hold up my shin for you. Can you see it? Kinda, sorta? Okay. And I have these words for you also. The reason why I think it needed to be the letter Shin, first of all, I have to tell you, I did a frequency study once upon a time. The very first primer that I ever did when teaching Aleph Bet, I did a frequency study, and the letter Shin is one of the most frequently used letters in the Aleph Bet at all. It comes most frequently, so you'll find it on lots of spots in your pages. So I want to show you these words. That looks like a lot of letters, but the blue letters, can you see blue from all the way over there? Yeah, we were worried about that. Anyway, so just pretend you see the shin is the beginning of each of these words. Remember, Hebrew goes this way. So the shin is the first letter of each of these words. And so this is a sh, and this is a sh, and this is a sh, and this is a sh. This line says Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. When we finish with all of these, eventually you will know all of these letters, and you'll be able to read all of this. But right now, all I want you to be able to do is the sh. So this says Shabbat Shalom, and this says Shabbat Shuva. That's the name of the Shabbat. So we have Shabbat Shalom and Shabbat Shuva. Some of you are going to be phonics people, and you're going to want to sound these words out as you see them. Some of you are going to be whole word connected things, and you're going to be so happy that I didn't make you sound these words out yet, that you just want to have the words in front of you. So these are the words that you're supposed to know by today. Everybody should know Shabbat Shalom. Everybody should know Shabbat Shuva. And so I want to talk about Shabbat Shuva for a second. We'll put this here somewhere. It's hiding. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Come look at it later. You can look, and anybody who wants will post them online again or something. When I was in I guess you call it a yeshiva, the rabbinic school, the morning of the ordination. And you remember that and some of you have heard this story before, and I apologize for telling it again. If you've heard it too many times, I apologize. But the morning of the ordination was one of the most exciting days of my life. I had wanted to be a rabbi since elementary school, and I was finally getting to be a rabbi. This was going to be the day. I wasn't sure exactly what was going to happen. I don't know if you knew that the ordination was in the Actors Synagogue in Manhattan. They had a stage and lights and stuff, as if, and not so much the bima, as more like a stage. But anyway, we were still in the rabbi's apartment that morning, and we were all nervous. There's 9 of us sitting there, 2 women and the rest were guys, 2 Italian speakers and the rest were not. A couple New Yorkers, a couple Southerners. It was a cool, eclectic group. We were all nervous and excited for different reasons, each of us. And the rabbi, 95-year-old man, may his memory be a blessing, he said to us, did you put on your tefillin this morning? And it was a Thursday morning. And I guess you should have put on tefillin every morning except Shabbat and holy days. And so he said, did you put on your tefillin this morning? Well, I had a little bit of a pass because I was a woman. He didn't expect me to have to put on my tefillin. I did for a few years. I put on tefillin every morning, starting with when I was 15, but it's been a while since I did that. And so I didn't feel as squirmy as some of the guys did, and the guys were squirming. And he said, well, do you put on tefillin on Shabbat? And so they said, no, of course not. So part of the point about tefillin is that it's a sign. It talks about in the Vehafta, which we'll read soon, about how you're supposed to make it a sign upon your hand, bind it as a sign upon your hand, and let it be frontlets between your eyes, or a symbol. That's what tefillin has become. It's been the box that you put on your arm, you wrap it around your hand, you tie it around, you put it on your box. Some of you have known them. Some of you may never have seen it. But he was asking if we had done it. And he said, well, but you don't do it on Shabbat, do you? And we said, of course not, because you don't need a separate sign on Shabbat. That sign of Shabbat is enough. And so you don't do it on a holy day. And everybody laughed because that was funny. He said, because that part wasn't funny. The part that was funny is he said, well, for me, every day is Shabbat. So he never puts on his tefillin either. So everybody was off the hook right there. And that was clever. Everybody stopped, they weren't as squirmy. And I said, well, it must be really hard to get any work done. And he didn't like that I was a smart aleck. It really is hard to get work done if every day is Shabbat. So the reason why I tell you that story is because I like to tell stories, but also because I realized this Shabbat, the Shabbat that comes between Rosh HaShanah and Yom Kippur, this Shabbat almost doesn't need a Shabbat. These days are holy anyway. We all get that they're holy. We started on Rosh Hashanah. We're going to continue through Yom Kippur and then Sukkot. And it almost is superfluous to be reminded that these days are holy. But not. And that's why we have this special Shabbat. So on this special Shabbat, sorry, my book is all the way down here. On this special Shabbat, it's called Shabbat Shuva, as you know from our lesson from today. So we're going to be reading the special Shabbat Shuva inserts, and in some sense then, please acknowledge and use this time wisely, because it is arguably, and I would love to argue this with you, arguably the most awesome Shabbat of the year, because it is the Shabbat between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. We are already feeling holiness. God, according to tradition, is here with us. God is here making a local call on us. So, after having said all that, taught you your things, done all of that, it is time for us to take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Try again. Let it out slowly. That's my microphone. I'm going to call up Carl and Sylvia to be our blessers. We are turning to page 38. And as if you were at home, the tradition is we stand for the blessings. So please stand for our blessings on page 38 as we are led in the blessings for candles and Kiddush.
Source of mercy, continue your loving care for us and our loved ones. Give us strength to walk in your presence on the paths of the righteous, loyal to your Torah. steadfast in goodness. Keep far from all shame, grief, and anguish. Fill our homes with peace, light, and joy.
O God, fountain of life,
by your light shall we see light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivonu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You hallow us with your mitzvot and command us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Amen.
May we be blessed with Shabbat joy.
Amen.
May we be blessed with Shabbat peace.
Amen.
May we be blessed with Shabbat light.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We continue on pages 167 and 166 with the Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagaf.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You call us to holiness with the mitzvah of Shabbat, the sign of your love, a reminder of your creative work and of our liberation from Egyptian bondage, our day of days. On Shabbat especially, we hearken to your call to serve you as a holy people. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of Shabbat.
Amen. L'chaim.
It's just grape juice.
It's holy grape juice. Shabbat shalom. You may be seated. Please tell someone you came in with and someone you didn't come in with. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Thank you. Shabbat shalom. Make sure everybody gets covered. Shabbat shalom. We are going to continue on page 44. No, let's do 46. Let's sing. Page 46. Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nikabla. Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nikabla. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad. Hishmi'anu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem u'tiferet v'litihila. Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nikabla. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha. Ki mekor habracha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nikabla hit'oreri Kiva orech kumi ori, uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabla. We don't have to stand up, but right behind us, the bride, Shabbat bride, is coming in the door. In some traditions, you stand up and you look, but I'm just telling you, watch for her. Boi v'shalom materet ba'ala, gam b'simcha uvetzola, toch emune am segula. Boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabla. It is good to give thanks to the Eternal One, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to tell of your love in the morning, your faithfulness in the night, to pluck the strings, to sound the lute, to make the harp vibrate. Your deeds, O God, fill me with gladness. Your work moves me to song. O great are your works, O God. How profound your design. So did you see the typo? You saw the typo? Good eyes. Did you find your shins? Good eyes. You didn't? What didn't you see? Check with me later. I'll show you where these things are. Top of page 48. The righteous shall flourish like palms, grow tall like cedars in Lebanon. Rooted in the house of their God, they shall be ever fresh and green, proclaiming that God is just, my rock in whom no wrong is found. The Eternal One is enthroned, robed in grandeur. The Eternal One is robed, girded with strength. The one who founded the solid earth to be unmoving. Ageless is your throne, endless your being. The oceans cry out, eternal God. The oceans cry out their thunder. The oceans rage in their fury. But greater than the thunder of the torrents, mightier than the breakers of the sea, is the majesty of God on high. Your law stands firm, and in your temple, O eternal God, holiness abides to the end of time. We've already had 4 deaths, I think, from Florence. 5 deaths from Florence, including an infant. The oceans cry out, eternal God. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma divra chiruteh, v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayed uchol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala, ba'agala, u'vizman kariv, v'meru, amen, yehe shmei Rabbah mevarach, La'alam ol'almei almaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpahar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yit'aleh, v'yit'alal, shemeh dekudisha, brichu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma, v'meru, amen. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, whose word brings on the evening. With wisdom you open heaven's gates, and with understanding you make the ages pass and the seasons alternate. Your will controls the stars as they travel through the skies. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light. You cause day to pass and bring on the night, separating day from night. You command the hosts of heaven. May the living and eternal God rule us always to the end of time. We praise you, O God, whose word makes evening fall. Unending is your love for your people, the house of Israel. Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts have you taught us. Therefore, O God, when you lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and rejoice in your Torah and mitzvot forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life and the length of our days. When your love, which shall never depart from our hearts, we praise you, O God. You love your people Israel. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem, Kevod Malachuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated unless you'd like to help me with this, and then I would like to call you up and help me, please. So I am going to, while they're coming up, I'm not normally going to interrupt the service, but I'm going to interrupt for a second to say that I presume that there's a good possibility that that song we just sang, the Shema, is one of the songs you have known the longest in your life. That you probably have been doing that since you're an infant. Every night before you go to sleep, If you didn't, you still have probably known that one, probably better than any other song. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Ready? Come on over. Come on. I'll turn this on and go. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Emet. Would you lead them in the English too, please? You shall love your eternal God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your being. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be symbols before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I am your eternal God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am your eternal God. Thank you, thank you. All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone are God. There is none else, and we are Israel, your people. You are sovereign. You deliver us from the hand of oppressors and save us from the fist of tyrants. You do wonders without number, marvels that pass our understanding. You give us our life. By your help, we survive all who seek our destruction. You did wonders for us in the land of Egypt, miracles and marvels in the land of Pharaoh. You led your people Israel out, forever to serve you in freedom. When your children witnessed your power, they extolled you and gave you thanks. Willingly they enthroned you, and full of joy, Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang this song. The battery's dead. Are you awake yet? That was the waters. He parted the waters. That's exactly right. Now he's paying attention. Did you see me snapping and snapping? He wasn't getting... Who is like you among the gods that are worshipped? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele. No, seriously, we're sorry about that. We're very sorry about that. Now you know how hard it is to be the sound person here, because if the guitar doesn't get turned on right and that, then it makes those noises. Sorry. In their escape from the sea, your children saw your sovereign might displayed. This is my God, they cried. The Eternal will reign forever and ever. And it has been said, the Eternal One delivered Jacob and redeemed us from the hand of one stronger than ourselves. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. We praise you, O God, the Redeemer of Israel. Grant that we may lie down in peace, eternal God, and raise us up, O Sovereign, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake, be our help. Shield us from hatred and plague. Keep us from war and famine and anguish. Subdue our inclination to evil. O God, our guardian and helper, our gracious and merciful sovereign, give us refuge in the shadow of your wings. O guard our coming and our going, that now and always we have life and peace. We praise you, O God, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. And we're going to sing that the people of Israel shall keep the Sabbath. Vishameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam beini uvein bnei Yisrael oti le'olam oti le'olam oti le'olam Vishameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz Vishameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam Uvayom hashvi shavat vayinafash shavat vayinafash shavat vayinafash Vishameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Please rise for the tefillah which begins on page 56. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, ve'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibur v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Hasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Zochreinu L'chaim, Melech Hafetz B'chaim, V'chotvenu b'sefer ha'chaim L'ma'ancha Elohim Chaim. Read with me in English on page 57, the part where it says, on Shabbat Shuva add, remember us unto life, sovereign who delights in life, and inscribe us in the book of life, that your will may prevail, O God of life. And we continue together, you are our sovereign and our help, our Redeemer and our shield. We praise you, Eternal One, shield of Abraham, protector of Sarah. Eternal is your might, O God. All life is your gift. Great is your power to save. With love you sustain the living. With great compassion give life to all. You send help to the falling and healing to the sick. You bring freedom to the captive and keep faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, Mighty One, author of life and death, source of salvation? Who is like you, source of mercy? In compassion you sustain the life of your children. We praise you, O God, the source of life. You are Kadosh, holy, and your name is Kadosh, holy. And those who strive to be Kedoshim, holy, declare your glory day by day. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. We praise you, Eternal One, the Holy God. You may be seated. Oh, we praise you, Eternal One. You rule in holiness. Ugh, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I'm going to keep saying I'm sorry. Tis the season for the sorries. Baruch atah Adonai Hamelech HaKadosh. We see God just not as a God, but as a ruler now. Will poke me or something. You set the 7th day apart for your service. It is the goal of creation, more blessed than other days, more sacred than other times. And so we read in the story of creation this almost good translation. Would you read with me the almost good translation? Now the whole universe, sky, earth, and all their array, was completed. With the 7th day, God ended the work of creation, resting on the 7th day with all the work completed. Then God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, this day having completed the work of creation. Why is that a bad translation? Because the work of creation was not completed. That's the bad part of the translation. That's not what it says. It says that God's part was completed. Now it's our job to do the rest. That's what it says. We'll be talking about this in a few weeks during services, during the Torah study. And that's not the most exciting part about that paragraph. This comes directly from Genesis. The most exciting part is that the word for completed means, well, ask me, I'll let you know. Bottom page 59. Our God, God of our fathers and our mothers, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us with your mitzvot, and let your Torah be our way of life. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, eternal God, let your holy Sabbath remain our heritage, that all Israel, hallowing your name, may find rest and peace. We praise you, O God, for the Sabbath and its holiness. Be gracious, eternal God, to your people Israel, and receive our prayers with love. O may our worship always be acceptable to you. Fill us with the knowledge that you are near to all who seek you in truth. Let our eyes behold your presence in our midst and in the midst of our people in Zion. We praise you, O God, whose presence gives life to Zion and all Israel. Do I have to read these little letters too? Is it Rosh Chodesh? That means a new month. Are we at the new month? No, Rosh HaShanah was the new month, the first day of the 7th month. Is it Chol HaMoed? No, that means the intermediate days of a holiday. If we were in the middle of Sukkot right now, we would do Chol HaMoed. So we get to skip the little letters and go to the bottom of 61. We gratefully acknowledge that you are our God and the God of our people, the God of all generations. You are the rock of our life, the power that shields us in every age. We thank you and sing your praises for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your keeping, for the signs of your presence we encounter every day, and for your wondrous gifts at all times, morning, noon, and night. You are goodness, your mercies never end. You are compassion, your love will never fail. You have always been our hope. For all these things, O sovereign God, let your name be forever exalted and blessed. Let life abundant be the heritage of all the children of your covenant. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Eternal God, whose nature is goodness, we give you thanks and praise. And you can't trick me into thinking it's Hanukkah. We go to the middle of page 63 and we read together. O sovereign source of peace, let Israel, your people, know enduring peace. For it is good in your sight to bless Israel and all peoples continually with your peace. Inscribe us in the book of life, blessing and peace. We praise you, O God, the source of peace. We take a moment now for silent meditation. my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. At this point in our service, our hearts and our prayers turn to those who are ill or recuperating as we turn to the inside back cover of the prayer book. And I turn my microphone off to read these just to the congregation. If you have names that you'd like us to add to our list and I haven't called them out, please call them out now. For all these names, for the names we choose to hold in our hearts and not say out loud, we read together. O God, in our hearts we name those who are facing illness and pain. We join our prayers with the prayers of all who love them. Give them renewed comfort and courage. Strengthen in them the healing powers you have placed within us all. Guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. May the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and to their dear ones. May they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked to theirs. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei HaCholim. We praise you, eternal God, the source of healing and health. And I want to remind you that if you know of people who are in the hospital, if you have family members or you know someone who's in the hospital and they could use a visit from the rabbi, I need to hear it from you or from family. I can't just walk in unannounced anymore. It's not the way we're allowed to do things anymore because of HIPAA things. So please make sure people let me know that they're there. We have come to add, Misheberach avotenu ve'imotenu, may the one who blessed and protected our ancestors guard all those whom we have entrusted with the responsibility of defending our freedom and protecting us in this country, in the land of Israel, and everywhere they've been called to serve. May they return home safely, and let us say, Amen. So I heard a good story. I'm always looking for good stories for you, especially around this time of year, but always. I thought this was kind of sweet. It's a story about the great conductor. You know that we just had Leonard Bernstein's 100th birthday, but this was Toscanini in Italy. And the story, as I heard it, was that he had a person who was writing a biography about him and interviewed him often. They weren't always in the same place when they were interviewing, but it turned out that the biographer was going to be where Toscanini was. And he says, can I meet with you? And Toscanini said, I can't meet with you tomorrow night because there is a symphony. And he said, well, I didn't know you were conducting tomorrow night. He said, I'm not conducting. His health was getting frail, but there was another symphony in a place where he had conducted before, and that symphony in another country. And that symphony was going to be playing a piece that he had conducted there before. And it was important to him to hear how his orchestra went. And he said, I like to listen to how other people conduct. And so the biographer said, would it be possible? It would be a really big honor if I could come and watch you listen to this. And Toscanini says, watch me listen? He said, I would love to just watch you listen to, see what it's like when you're listening to it. Toscanini says, if you promise not to disturb me at all, okay, come on over. So the man comes over and watches Toscanini, and he sits and he has his eyes closed most of the time, but he's obviously not asleep, and he's listening, and every once in a while his hands would move to the music, and his head would show some rhythm in it and things, and it was over. And the man said, "What did you think?" And he said, "Well, that was pretty good, but it was missing something." The guy said, "I thought it was amazing." "What do you mean it was missing something?" He said, "Well, it's a piece that's written for 120 musicians, 15 violins, and there were obviously only 14 violins there." And the guy said, "How could you possibly know that there were only 14? Because first of all, he wasn't listening it on like high definition radio. He wasn't listening on radio, he was listening on a shortwave radio. There was like static and things coming in the whole time. How could you tell that there were only 15? But he didn't challenge the maestro. He just waited. The next day, during the daytime, he called up, long distance, far, far away, and spoke to someone from the orchestra and said, "Excuse me, can you tell me how many violins were there last night?" And the guy said, "You know, it's really sad. That piece was written for 120 orchestra pieces, but there were only 14 violins there last night. The last violinist dropped out at the last minute." Like, how did you know? He comes back and he talks to Toscanini. He says, "How did you know that there was one violin out of all of those sounds and so scratchy?" And he said, "Look, if you listen to a symphony, you may be amazed at how magnificent it is, and you may hear all of the nuances, but I'm a conductor, and I know every note that was written for that orchestra, and I could tell that there was a violin that wasn't playing all of its notes." And so, of course, that's supposed to remind us where we are today in this High Holy Day season, in these days of repentance, that God is our great conductor, and each one of us has a part to play in the symphony. And so part of it is, have you figured out what your part is in the symphony? You have notes that need to be heard. And maybe not everybody is going to notice if your notes are missing or not, but they're going to be missing if you're not doing it. Figure out what your part is in the symphony. So I mentioned before that I wanted to talk about the Shema again. And I also mentioned that when I decided that I would try to help teach everybody some Hebrew, that was one of the things that I had promised that I would promise myself I would try to do this year. And so here I am doing that. But another thing that I promised myself I was going to do was visit the people who are the shut-ins, the ones that don't get visited almost ever. And so today I was able to visit with Abri and Sophie and Norman and Amy. And the one thing that I do when I go visit these people who have memory issues, and some of them are more verbal than others, some of them are barely verbal at all, but one of the things that I do with everyone I go visit is we sing the Shema. Every one of them sang the Shema with me, every word. They said Adonai instead of Adonai. That didn't bother me at all. It is such a blessing to see them singing. Gusto barely can put together, they cannot put together a sentence, but they sing the Shema. They also sing, "You are my sunshine," every single word. So I'm just saying, please don't forget to visit people, to sing with each other, and be part of the symphony. Be part of the symphony. Mr. President.
Shabbat Shalom, HaShanah Tova as well. Religious school will begin this Sunday, September 16th. All parents are requested to bring their children to the newly renovated classrooms. And then please join Barbara Joseph, our new education director, for the breakfast hosted by the Brotherhood. Parents will have an opportunity to complete registration and learn about Barbara's new plans for the new school year. Yom Kippur evening service will be this Tuesday, September 18th, starting at 7:30, and it will be in Lefkowitz Hall. The day of Yom Kippur will begin with services at 10 a.m. in the sanctuary, and services will continue all day in the sanctuary as well, all the way through to the final shofar blast. After concluding service, you're welcome to partake of the Sisterhood's breakfast. The office will obviously be closed that day. Sunday, September 23rd, you are invited to help decorate the sukkah starting at 4:30. When the decorating is finished, we will have sushi in the sukkah, pizza in the hut. Monday, September 24th, there will be a Sukkot morning service at 10 a.m. Please plan to attend the harvest dinner Friday, September 28th, following Shabbat service that will include Simchat Torah, the consecration, and Yizkor. Please make reservations by September 21st to attend the dinner. Dinner is $10 per adult, $6 per child. Donations were made tonight for the pulpit flowers in loving memory of Avery S. Can Sr. by Avery and Nell Can, in loving memory of Joe Gold by Mark Kaplan and Betsy Kaplan Beal, in loving memory of William B. Levinson by Bill Levinson, and in loving memory of Stephen Eugene Muslow by Mary Muslow and family. Thank you.
Thank you. So one of our favorite parts of the service is when we ask the kids to please come up and help us open the ark. Anyone who's under 15, no? Anyone who's under 15 and wants to come up, please come up and help us open the ark. Everyone else is turning to page 148, and when the ark is open, please rise. They know it's an honor. Look, they're all coming. It's like Pied Piper today. It is a blessing. Ready? Come on, come on. 148? You don't need the book. You know the words by heart. Open the ark. Oh, look what's in here. What's in here? Whoa. What happened? Look what's here. What's here? Why is there only one Torah? Open, open, open. Why is there only one Torah? It's the other one's in the sink in the social hall. But look what color it is. It's white. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol latet gedula liotzer breshit shelo asanu kegay haratzot velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama shelo sam chelkenu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam va'anachnu koreim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. And on the facing page we'll sing v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad ushemo echad. When the ark is closed, I'm going to sneak out. You may be seated. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for honoring us. We continue on page 151. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. And I'm going to include in that list the 23 people in the military we've lost this year, the 101 police officers we've lost this year, 19 canine officers, 68 firefighters, the people who've lost their lives in the disasters that happened this week, including, who would have thought Florence would have been a devastating thing? And those explosions in the Boston area. As we remember them, let us meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death, And instead of choosing one of these, I'm going to invite us to take a moment of silence as we remember with our own thoughts those who we've lost. However brief may be our time on earth, O God, you endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. We now recall the loved ones whom death has taken from us. We remember the congregants' parents who died within the past year. We remember Sarah David, Flo Selber, Gloria Meyer, Richard Stewart, and Clifford Bear. And as we remember those who died at this season in years past, we take them into our hearts with our own. Those for whom we're observing your site this week include Bella Abramson, Hyman Batt, Richard L. Bailey, Mary Harris Block, Abri S. Kahn Sr., Leslie Robert Cruvant, Abe B. Fryer, Joe Gold, Adele B. Goldstein, Gerald S. Goodman, Israel Gringas, Esther Guggenheim, Bernard Kallenberg, Bobby Kemper, Pearl Cooper Crandall, Elma Harrell Law, William B. Levinson, Hyman Lipson, Leon Loeb, Esther Mandel, Charlton Meyer Jr., Stephen Eugene Muslow, Ben A. Phelps Sr., Evelyn Redstone, Dr. Donald Yale Rosen, Henrietta Rosen Simon, Rebecca Siegel Stadium, Goldie Siegel Toys, Edward Weil, and Earl Loeb Weiner. In this moment of memory, our griefs and sympathies are mingled. Loving God, we rise as together we praise your name. The Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 154. The translation is on 155. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shemei Rabbah mevarach la'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudsha b'richu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. Amen. Please be seated. But if you are under the age of, what do you want? Oh, come on, higher, higher. 90, did you say? Yeah. If you're under the age of 90, you're going to want to partake of some of the food. But if you're under the age of 15, no, 13, we'll do 13. Look what we have. It is round. It is flat, like the world. No, sorry. I just want to see if anybody was listening. Come on up. It is round, like the what?
Everything's round.
Everything's round. Oh, I like that. So I'm going to tell you a joke I heard this week. This was really good while we're coming up. We said that the high holy days are supposed to come in the fall. And if you lived anywhere else on this planet, you know that this doesn't feel like fall. It's still really, really hot. And the trees aren't changing color. And it doesn't feel like fall. And somebody said, well, that's because in Shreveport, fall is just like summer, but with more pumpkins. I like that joke. All right, ready? Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Sing it loud. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. I get the plate, you get the challah. There's challah for grown-ups out there too. Make sure everybody's got. Everybody get? Wait, did you get? Wait, just please break. Everybody gets? Thank you. Yes, nice, thank you. Everybody else are professional terrors. Please rise for the closing benediction. So in this Shabbat, that is a super Shabbat, I should have said a super Shabbat, because it's the letter Shin, get it? A super Shabbat. I love being with you. I love that you came here to be with us. Some of you came for happy reasons, and some of you came for sad reasons. But it is a blessing that we were here together for this special moment. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you. May God protect you. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'choneka. May the light of God's face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face always be looking up to you. May God grant you peace. Shabbat Shalom. Bim bam bim 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 bam bim.